Hello and welcome to a very special interview here, a little break from your one-on-one recording. I'm Chaz McAdams here with Ben Oppenheimer representing WFUV Sports, talking to Keith Dawkins, president of the Harlem Globetrotters. And we're going to be talking about just jumping off this new residency that the Harlem Globetrotters are having. So Keith, for our audience, people that might not be familiar, do you want to just go a little bit and explain what this residency means for the Globetrotters?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's always great to get a chance to talk to Globetrotters and meet some new folks. I appreciate you guys for having us. Yeah, listen, the Globetrotters for the last forever, have been this awesome magical tour that does some 400 tour dates around the globe, 250 in North America, another 150 around the rest of planet Earth, I like to say. And it was a big part of our kind of mission since we came on board to really diversifying the ways in which we connect with the audience. We're not a tour, we're a beloved global IP, right? And in thinking of ourselves that way, that means we should not only have this touring product, but we should be on TV. We should be with streaming partners. We should be thinking about our digital social media strategy. We should think about our consumer products and licensing business, right? And we've done some of that work, kind of diversifying the way we are. And this residency, while it kind of leverages the core tour component, we have never, and no other franchise, not even your beloved Boston Celtics, right, have ever had a multi-day sit down in a location. So this is a first in sports history, that any sports franchise will hunker down in one location, do their sports residency. American Dream is kind of a like-minded partner in the sense of their destination that gathers families from all over the country, all over the world, actually come and visit their destination to consume sports, to consume entertainment, to dine, to shop. So it was a great place as a brand that brings families together, joy, hope, possibilities, entertainment, best in class, world-class athletes, and laughter. And so we're super excited to bring this together in August.
So, with you guys starting this residency this August, do you feel that your organization is the most prominent it's ever been on a world stage as it is right now?
Well, I would say this. I feel like we are starting a new chapter in Globetrotters history, one that I hope both honors the past and the greats like the Meadowlark Lemons, the Curly Neals, the Lynette Woodards, the Sweet Lou Dunbars, honors the past of a generation who remembers those great iconic players and also remembers the Globetrotters showing up on, it was a simpler time in the world of media and entertainment, but showing up on TV, showing up on Scooby-Doo, on our lunchbox. So I hope we honor that tradition of when they were at their height. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest with you, surpass that and take this thing to new heights. We're about to embark on our 100-year anniversary in 2026. We think that's going to be a game changer for us when we get there. I want the brand to be around long after all of us are gone for another 100 years. So I'd like to think that we're on the beginning of a new kind of transformative time for the Globetrotters. And I hope that some version of us, some young folks are talking about like, oh my God, I love the Globetrotters. I remember they had this residency of American Dream. I remember they had this great show on NBC called Harlem Globetrotters Play It Forward. I remember their Emmy nominee or whatever it is. And we're taking it to a new special place.
Yeah, and kind of jumping off of that, how do you think? Because obviously there's more basketball product out there at this point than there has ever been in like the history of time.
Yeah.
So obviously the Globetrotters, when they first come in, actually in Harlem, are a novelty like no other. What they do to the Generals last night is borderline criminal, night in and night out, and you just and that kind of fun brand of basketball has almost infiltrated its way into what the mainstream was. I mean, back when
Yeah.
the Globetrotters, it was like Lou Alcindor was like the big flashy product, and
Yeah.
if that's flash, I don't really know what we're doing. So the fact that flashy basketball isn't enough of a draw for people now, how do you think that you guys have adapted in 2024 to a modern audience?
Yeah. So I'll say a couple things to that. So part of the thesis you're throwing out, right, which by the way, a lot of people throw out at us is what you do isn't unique anymore, one, and or um, the marketplace is so cluttered, kind of how do you break through? I would argue what we do is unique. No one's was ever doing that then or now, right? We weren't just Curly Neal or what you see in Kyrie Irving, right? as phenomenal ball handlers. It's the totality of the everything that we do. It's the humor. It's the bringing folks together. It's the gameplay. It's the athleticism. It's the ball handling and the entertainment, right? We have a product that's still unique today. And then to the cluttered marketplace piece, I actually see that as opportunity. So as opposed to only having a tour as a way to connect to an audience and maybe a couple of TV channels like it was back in 1978, now you have 400 channels on a cable network. You have all the streaming partners that are out there. You have this gigantic digital and social media universe. We have a metaverse to explore. I mean, the list goes up. We have a whole gigantic global consumer products industry. We have the globalization of the sport that is still, I mean, if you look at the NBA, from Giannis to Luca to the Joker, you might be talking about the three best players in the world are not foreign-born or foreign-born players, right? We're not even talking about throwing in like an Andrew Wiggins, right, born outside of the U.S., or the list, or R.J. Barrett, born outside the U.S., Joel Embiid, forgot him on the list of greatest players. So that globalization of the sport creates opportunities for our international side of our business, where we sell out in Australia, sell out in New Zealand, sell out in different parts of Europe and South America. I think it's no better opportunity for us now. I don't look at it as a cluttered marketplace. I look at it as an opportunistic marketplace for us to reach a global audience in ways that we never could have imagined 20, 30, even 15 years ago.
So going back to Play It Forward briefly, the Emmy-nominated TV series, you helped orchestrate, or you were the kind of sole guy behind the scenes orchestrating that deal with Hearst Media Production Group. Are there any deals potentially in the works down the line, especially after this residency? Is it possible people could be streaming this or even watching on a TV channel?
So I appreciate you saying that I'm the soul. And listen, my media entertainment background for all those years did allow me to kind of jumpstart that thing with Hearst, but it's definitely a team effort in terms of on the Hearst side and on our side. We have a awesome team that helps bring that to life. We also have a show that we've recently announced with Aspire TV called Secrets of the City. And that is about, all of the travels that the Globetrotters take all around the globe, right? As they're traveling to Turkey, to Egypt, to Australia, New Zealand, like I mentioned before. And how do we capture that work and bring it into the show? So that'll be kind of like an inside look at what it means to be a Globetrotter traveling around the globe. So that'll be coming to Aspire TV. We've also announced a doc series with Hidden Pictures that takes a look at the kind of the 100-year anniversary or really the totality of the brand and its impact of those 100 years. So we have a growing development slate that we're really excited about. It crosses every demo, meaning like kids, kind of 12 to 34s and adult crowd, and every topic or genre type: docs, animation, live action, short form, long form. So content, is a important part of the media entertainment ecosystem, and it's an important part of the Globetrotters moving forward. We have some more stuff I think we'll be able to send out soon that we'll probably have to come back to you on in short order.
So obviously the Globetrotters have been around. You said coming up on 100 years, coming up on the century. So going back through the annals of history, who is your favorite Globetrotter of all time and why?
The kid in me, which I guess is still the adult in me, would say Curly Neal. And it's tough in my pause
That's
because
pretty chalky. That's kind of a chalk pick.
Yeah, it's tough
I know
because
it's like a father trying to pick a favorite son or
it
daughter.
is.
That's another great thing about the Globetrotters, that you guys have been able to integrate a lot of the great female, like even Jenna Bandy, like getting some shouts, but then also the modern male creators and Chris Staples. But yeah, I gotta that seems too surface level for me. I think you can go deeper than that. I think
Well, listen, I'm just going to the kid in me, right? Because again, I'm going to age myself, but it's like, there was no internet. There was like 3 to 4 networks. And both the professional product, meaning the NBA, and even the way, I was being taught to play in high school and when you were junior college, was like, go to the elbow jumper. So to see this, by the way, which is fundamentally sound, but to see someone doing things that was beyond the scope of how players were being allowed to play, that now was a window into where the NBA was going to go, where the ABA was actually being influenced by and going. That's why he kind of sticks out in my head in terms of just, there was a swag factor before anyone was using swag, right? And his hair or no hair, the bald head, the gold chain, and just the ball handling. So that's why he just really pops with me. The adult now in me who remembers the emergence of the women's side of college basketball, remembers WNBA getting off the ground, remembers the Lynette Woodard Globetrotter right, and seeing that whole thing, and just my personal just fandom of the sport. And then, as Caitlin Clark was doing her thing at Iowa last year and was getting all of a sudden hearing Lynette's scoring record, Pistol Pete scoring, and hearing her mention it, and then the Globetrotters get mentioned, it's like, that's pretty awesome. So she's on my list too.
So, are there any lessons or tips that you've learned in your time as president of this organization that you didn't know coming into the role or you didn't expect?
I didn't know and/or expect the players when you meet them. And by the way, either one of you guys can meet them. Like they're the access to the players. It's part of the Globetrotter brand. It's just kind of how the organization works. Again, as a major point of distinction with anyone. I wasn't really thinking about what type of human beings they would really be. I was thinking about the brand and my affinity for it. And I thought this was a great opportunity, all this stuff. Okay. Then you meet the players and it's like, they're hugging me and blah, 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 whatever. But I'm like, okay, because I have lazy title power. That's what they have to do. Okay. Well, 2.5 years later, I'm like, the players, just as part of our recruitment process. Yeah, you have to be able to run fast, jump high. Yeah, you have to have a certain set of ball skills. But the good human factor of them, the fact that they just want to get out in bed and do this every day and travel the way they do, they have stuff going on in their lives, just like they're regular. People have had deaths in their families, loss of loved ones, injuries, coming out of COVID, maybe some mental health stuff they were dealing with. Whatever is going on in their lives, you wouldn't know it. And they show up all the time, smiling from that audience, giving the extra, signing autographs longer than, but sometimes we got to pull them out of there. The players are just like magic as human beings. And I think that was my kind of biggest, like, it's not that I was thinking they would be the worst humans, but I just didn't know. They're magical. And because they're magical, when you start to work for the Globetrotters, it makes everyone who's a staffer just go, oh my God, I get it. And we just all feel like almost indebted to the idea of moving this thing forward. So that's why I always say to people, I'm like, listen, if you're along for the ride, you're along for the ride. If you don't want to be part of the journey, okay, great. But we're getting to our destination. And I believe that wholeheartedly because we all are just so bought in on what it means to be a Globetrotter. I say to players all the time, I'm not a home Globetrotter. Like, cause I take that seriously. Like you're a player to call yourself that. But I feel like I am one because I take it so seriously. And some of that just comes from the meeting and getting to know players, past, present, and future. And you have to honor that.
Past, present, and you said future. I got one more question for you that I want a little insight on kind of the ins and outs from the man at the top. Who are two or if you can, three of your dream gets that you haven't been able to get in a Harlem Globetrotter uniform that are out and about in the world today?
Well, I would answer that question this way. So, we signed Alexis Morris last year, second round pick in the WNBA. She was on LSU's national championship team. She got the ring. She was leading scorer on that national championship team in the game. And for us/me, that was important because I want people to know. I want two groups to know. I want the elite baller, the one who can go to men or women, who can go to the LSUs, who can play in McDonald's All-American games, who can be like that level of a player when they're thinking about their world. So back to your question of there's no more kind of cluttered time and all the opportunities of basketball. Well, then I want that player to go, okay, on my list, I'm thinking about the Harlem Globetrotters. If you go back in the day, Brendan Jennings, I remember, he came out of high school and he was like, okay, I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to bounce straight to Europe. Did that for a year. And then he could have bounced a bit of Globetrotter for a year or two, right? I want all of those WNBAers in their 144 slots that they have. And when they because that's a finite amount of chairs, right? When they don't make a squad, not because their talent's not right, it's just because the limits that they have there. I want them to go, huh, wait, I saw Alexis is over there with the she's having a great time. Wow, she just got an N1 deal. So, I mean, her profile is still very visible because of the Globetrotter thing. I want all of these athletes to know that the Globetrotters are a possibility for them. And then we can dial through who's the get and who we want. To the women's side of the game, you know, I'm proud that we signed Alexis, you know, not later, but before, right? And because it speaks to the sport is gender neutral, it's global. Women are playing the game, young girls are playing the game at big rates, right? The eyeballs are on them, and the talent pool is deep. So again, I want these athletes to think now on the consumer side, then I want them to know and believe and understand, yeah, this thing is a blend of entertainment and the sport, but these are cream of the crop athletes who are playing over here. And it honors the legacy of the Connie Hawkins and the Wilt Chamberlains and even the Magic Johnson, who was an honor, right? It honors that legacy of this has been a home of innovation. It has been a home of the best athletes. It's been a home that has impacted ABA and NBA and the way in which we see the product today. And it will continue to be a home for that. But it takes the world-class athletes to get there globally.
Well, I think that is going to do it for us for this interview. Thank you so much to Keith Dawkins. Make sure to check out the Harlem Globetrotters residency over at the American Dream in New Jersey. All that stuff, the Emmy Award winning. Just it seems like it's a good time to get in on the Globetrotter brand while the iron's hot. If you're a consumer. But for Ben Oppenheimer and Chaz McAdams, we'll take you back to WFV Sports 1-on-1.